It's time for Nerdy News! Hello, every time I think I've got time to reach over and adjust my shoe. And guess what? No, you're already here. Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Nerdy News Live. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. So welcome everyone. Welcome you nerds. I've got some stuff to talk to you guys about tonight, and I'm just wondering if we should be worried or if things are just totally unraveling and we should just say, it's fine. It's fine. It's great. Everything's perfect. So before we go any further, please make sure you smash the like button. If you're new, I sure hope you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with more nerdy news and geeky goss. First and foremost, let's bring my guest for the evening on. Dear friend of mine, he is one half the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast and the Red 5 Podfather. We give you Ro. Hello. Hello.
What is happening? Those children cheering for me. That's so nice.
I know. Hey, hello there. Hello, General Kenobi. Or did I said that wrong? General Kenobi.
General Kenobi. And then you got to spin.
Oh.
There you go.
There we go.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I'm sorry if I'm a little what right now. I had to, you guys know that there's stuff going on with my mom. I had to run and go take care of her. And you know, I'm passenger princess now.
You're a saint.
Dave has to drive me everywhere, and God love him. The poor sweet man cannot just go somewhere. He has to make 300 stops. So I had to.
That's funny to me.
Why? Because you're exactly the same?
No, because I'm exactly the opposite.
Okay. Well, it drives me absolutely crazy. And I still haven't chilled from being in the car forever. So I rush in here, throw my makeup on, and my shoe is still kind of crazy. So there we go. Okay. This is Ro. He's from the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. He's actually the one who came up with the old Red 5 network, which you can check out all our podcasts right here at this link. And you can follow Ro on Twix and YouTube at these little doohickeys right here. Ro, is there anything else important we need to know about you, or should we just forget you're there?
Important? No. I think I wear my what do you call it? I wear my feelings on my sleeve, or what is that saying?
I don't know, but it's whatever is on your shirt right now is pretty dope.
What? Look at that. Check it out.
What? Ooh. Did you maybe get this from here?
Yeah, that's where I got it.
Oh my God, me too.
And then a gremlin came and then dropped it off. I also got one of these. So last night on the if you guys are familiar with Nicole and Red 5 reading, I've always admired Nicole's wardrobe when she does the Red 5 roundups for the Red 5 reading channel, because I think red is one of my favorite colors.
We look good in red.
We absolutely do look good in red, and it's not by coincidence. But you know, Nicole wears such a wonderful Red 5 Network t-shirt, and it looks really, really good on her. I'm not gonna look as cute. But I got a We Are Red 5 Network t-shirt from the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast, TeePublic, and awesome. I'll be proud to wear that and represent probably at C2E2 with the rest of the local Chicago Red Fivers. But that's gonna be a lot of fun. But as far as getting to know anything about me, nah. I'm out there. So
but we love you. We love you because you're out there. Never stop being out there.
You have a wonderful cast of characters in your chat.
I do. And yeah, speaking of Nicole, so hello, chat. Hello, Nicole. She's my hashtag mini wrench girl, one of my mods, my first mod. We also have Spencer, What's up,
Woohoo!
Spencer? And Star Wars Meg. Girl, you make me feel famous. Showing up to my stuffs. Love you. She's the best. We also have Katie Artist 94. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Agent Llama Prop. That is a really cool name, dude.
You know,
That is a
In Spanish, it would be Agent Yama Prop.
Yama. Well, that's what it is now. Yama.
Yama be there.
From a certain point of view askew. What's up?
I love those
And
guys.
a la mière. Am I saying that correctly? Or is it French? Is it à la mière?
Yeah,
À la mière.
I think
It's hard to switch the
I think
R.
it's one of the Holochronicles dudes.
Sweet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now I know why everyone is here, so I'm going to do my very best to jump to it. But this is Nerdy News. Welcome, welcome, welcome very much to Nerdy News Live. I am your host, Dani Sansi, licensed cosmetologist and registered super nerd. And when I'm not breaking down some of your favorite characters, nerdy shows, stories, what have you, while I'm doing my makeup at the same time, I am obsessed with what goes on in the industry regarding our favorite stuff. And I used to just like cover every single headline I found, but my streams were getting super long. That and I keep having Emmett on the show. And I love Emmett. He's one of my BFFs. But in true Irishman style, he will talk forever. I love you, Emmett. I love you. Don't ever change. But I have whittled it down to a couple topics. And tonight we're just gonna go straight for it, Ro. We're just gonna
Cut to the
normally
chase. Cut to the chase,
and I'm telling
baby.
you right now, this hair is probably gonna go up in like 2 seconds. But normally I save the big juicy stuff for last. You know, you get your headliners and stuff. So, but I feel like today this is a pretty important topic, and I just want to get it out there. We have some serious tea on what was going on behind the scenes of the Acolyte. And honestly, hello, Book of Theories. Welcome, General Kenobi. You're a hut. You're hot. I wish I could go sleeveless, but nobody wants to see that. um, there is some serious stuff going on. And this took place months ago while it was filming. I'm really heartbroken to hear this stuff because, like Rose says, you cut him and he bleeds Star Wars. Star Wars is a really big, important part of my growing up. I'm a generational Star Wars fan, technically. I was born right when Empire came out, which explains everything.
Sure does.
Um, my mom was one of the people standing in line for hours to watch the first one. So Star Wars is so important to me. I am a non-denominational nerd, but Star Wars it's right up there, and it's definitely the one that I carry with me everywhere all the time and can quote. So whenever I hear something horrible happening that can affect the future of this franchise, it really does affect me on a personal level.
Yeah.
I was contacted today. Like, I just got this information today. I have been hearing stuff about Acolyte for years, since right around the time I opened the salon, Row. So about 4 or 5 years ago at this point. It was before I even started the podcast. And I was hearing that, and we all know how Kathleen is. She announces all these things and maybe one or two gets made. Typical Hollywood, really, but you normally don't announce with great excitement, all your stuff that you have in development and get everyone's hopes up. And Acolyte was one of those series that, oh yeah, we're going to do this show. It's during the High Republic. It's about the Sith. And then it would get shelved. And then they'd greenlight it again. And then it would get shelved again and back and forth, back and forth. It was just plagued from the beginning. But then we started seeing footage and the teaser trailer from Star Wars Celebration, which
It's still on my phone.
it apparently they did some of the actors dirty at Celebration. That's part of this. So we started seeing the footage, and it looked really good. It looked very intriguing. But then we start hearing some things from Leslie Headland's own mouth that are a little concerning. Saying how this individual Star Wars movies don't matter. It's only Star Wars. I mean, maybe I can understand what she's trying to say with that, but can we all agree that the movies are important? The individual movies are important. And if the individual movies aren't any good or they're insulting to the fan base, then that affects that whole Star Wars thing you were talking about. So I got contacted today after all these things we've been hearing about the Acolyte. And this is a person. Okay, Meg is absolutely correct. That's going up. Yes. Yes, girl. Yes. And Ubaldo. Hello, Ubaldo. I got contacted today. And it just so happened that I was wanting to talk about the Acolyte today anyway. Someone contacted me. And this is a person that has worked for Lucasfilm for 15, 20 years. They have been in almost every single project, and not just on screen, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera as well. This person has been integral in creating a lot of the creatures we see. And I know what you're thinking. No, it's not Brian. No, it is not my friend Brian. He's a makeup artist and designer of special effects, sometimes puppeteer, but he's never been on camera. This is not him. This person tells me that they are in the Acolyte. Okay. And this is also a person that, since I have known them, and I've known them a couple of decades, I've known them a very long time. Not once have I ever heard this person say anything about Disney, Star Wars, or Lucasfilm that was not absolutely glowing. I mean, it was almost like they were allergic to giving any kind of even constructive criticism. Nothing derogatory at all. You want to talk about towing the Lucasfilm line. Hello. Hi, words are hard. You want to talk about towing the Lucasfilm line? This person was the epitome of that. I mean, 100%. They contact me today with one of the longest messages I've ever received on any social media platform. And they tell me that not only was the entire vibe and feel of Star Wars not like palpable at all, not there at all on set for Acolyte, but he was verbally abused persistently, not just once, not just twice. It was a pattern of behavior. And the person that was at the forefront of this abuse that they received was none other than Lindsay Headland's wife, Rebecca Henderson. Now, I really should pull up a picture of Rebecca. Like I said, I did not have a lot of time. I had
this was just coming into the newsroom, folks.
Yeah, this is just coming in. And because I know I didn't really know of her really at all.
And she plays a major character in the show.
Yeah, which apparently explains probably why she was so insecure, I guess. Because that's the way I'm taking it, is some serious insecurity issues.
Yeah, that's always the way it was.
Right. Well, I'm trying to use a computer here, and at my age, we should all know that that's just not something that can happen. Like, do I know where I saved that picture to? Probably not.
Probably not. Nadia says that your voice is so soothing, and I'd like to say that I fall asleep to your voice.
No.
Yeah,
I think I have the most annoying nasally voice in the world, and I'm constantly wondering if maybe that is why I don't have the watch hours.
Not at all. I'll watch one of your videos, puts me right to sleep.
Oh, thanks, butthole. That's oh, and of course it's a WEBP. Anyway, Google Rebecca Henderson. She is Lindsay Headland's wife, and apparently she had a serious chip on her shoulder and was very, I'm the boss's wife. I can do whatever I want. La, 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 la. Okay,
That's too
can
bad.
you? So that's exactly what she did. That's an AV. There are no pictures of this woman on file on the internet that you can actually friggin' use. This
Can
is
you share a
insane.
screen?
Oof. Okay, well,
Share a screen.
fine. Okay, I'll do it the easy way.
Share a screen, young lady.
Okay, I'm going to share the screen. We're going to do that.
That's
There she is.
That's what all the YouTubers are doing, sharing screens.
Sharing screens. Okay, so can you see this? Is it visible?
Yeah.
Okay, so that right there, and that's her in costume.
Mm-hmm.
So, in character, as you can tell, this is her character. She has to wear a green skull cap. So, the person that came up to her is extremely experienced and knowledgeable about this kind of work. In fact, it is this person's forte, one might say. And they go up and they're like, hey, because this is their job. Okay. This is part of their job. This is why they are there. They go up to her and they say, hey, just letting you know, when you turned your head, it caused a pretty apparent wrinkle. And there's a cheat for that. She immediately starts screaming and cursing at this person. And we're talking Christian Bale level stuff.
Wow.
To the point where everyone heard it. Everyone was aware of it. They were rolling. They were rolling. Mics were on. 0 Fs were given. She starts screaming, saying, I can turn my head if I want to. I can turn. Okay, so basically you're a person who can't take direction. Okay, good to know.
Or criticism.
Yeah, your job is to take direction, for crying out loud. So she then says they can just fix it in post. Okay, so now you're spending Disney's money, which, by the way, Disney has been cutting the budgets to Star Wars substantially since The Last Jedi. That's another thing I learned today, that all the budgets are getting dashed.
Sorry,
every single project.
My ears were bleeding for a second there. You said The Last Jedi.
I know. I'm so sorry. My apologies. Anyway, The Last Jedi, The Last Jedi, The Last Jedi. So the budget for every Star Wars project has been cut drastically. Each project. Why? Because the previous are doing well. Why aren't they doing well? Well, apparently it's actually true that they're just doing whatever the F they want. They have a specific idea in mind for the, how do I put this politically? Like, they have an idea of what they want kids to believe as they're growing up. They believe the children of the future. So
Nadia's gonna fall asleep.
So there's a lot of that going on. There really is a lot of that political BS going on in the background. Whereas I really normally don't have that big of an issue with it, as long as there's substance. Let's have substance. The problem is, kind of like with Star Trek Discovery, there really isn't much substance to it. So they have to make up with it in other areas. So this person, this Rebecca Henderson, married to the showrunner, gets a big role and refuses to take direction from anyone but her wife. And anyone that does give her direction or tries to help her with anything, she flips out and verbally abuses them horribly and publicly. So there's the humiliation factor too. The person that she did this to tried not once, not twice, 3 times to apologize to her and try to have a nice working relationship, because this is work. And we all know when you are at work, when you have a working life, you most likely see your coworkers more than your own family. So they
Yeah.
become like a family. You want to have a good relationship. You don't want a toxic work environment. That's miserable. Absolutely miserable. He tried 3 times to say, "Hey, I'm really, really sorry. Um, I hope, you know, I didn't say anything too offensive. I was only trying to help." And she again wheeled around on her heel and just unleashed on this person. Like, absolutely rips this person apart loudly in front of everyone. And I mean everyone. The person she attacks goes to other people, like, asking for help, like, "Hey, how do I resolve this problem?" And they were like, basically, "Tough titties to the kitty." Mm, yeah,
Can I be devil's advocate for a second?
absolutely. But just don't annoy me.
Because because I'm in production
Mhm.
and I'm going to give you a question which
Okay.
um
And there's more, by the way.
yeah. As far as the let's call this mystery person um Joe. What was Joe's role in this particular aspect of production? Because if it wasn't makeup, hair, or anything like that, then I will have to say, and this is no defense over Miss Henderson,
Mhm.
but if it wasn't that particular role, then he probably should not have said anything.
Well, it's difficult for me to answer that
Hmm.
because I'm trying to respect this person's
Sure,
anonymity for the
privacy. Yeah,
most part.
and on a production like this, everyone has a role, and
And this person
if a
definitely he was the only person from this department on set when it happened.
okay,
It was his job. Let's say it was his duty or responsibility. Let's say that to speak up. And this is a person who doesn't have a mean bone in their body.
sure,
None. The kindest, warmest, gentlest, most understanding human being I've ever met in my life. And how they have hung out in this industry since the 90s
mhm.
and
The
still
ancient times.
remain. Yeah, 10 years ago, the ancient times.
You keep saying 10 years. I mean, it's
Because the 90s
2024.
feel like 10 years ago still. But how this person has remained so sweet and understanding throughout all of this is just, it really speaks to the spirit and the character that this person has.
Sure, yeah,
And this is a person who is extremely knowledgeable, has a lot of experience, and has worked in that creature department. I'll just say it, in the creature department for many, 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 many years. And not only did he get mistreated while doing his job, he tries to apologize. He tries to make amends, even though he was doing what he was supposed to. He tries to make amends multiple times. And finally, she wheels around and barks at him. And this is like Christian Bale level, okay? So please imagine this is someone absolutely losing all of their temper, like can't control themselves at all. And they are accusing this person, say, "Do you even work in the creature department?" And they just looked at her and said, "As a matter of fact, I do." And they said for a moment there was a flash of recognition, and
mhm.
she didn't know who she was talking to. Basically, she thought, I'm Leslie's wife. I do what I want. Mm, 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 mm.
It's amazing to me that people think they can get away with that type of behavior on a production as big as a Star War.
It's
You know,
insane to think
yeah,
that in this day and age, but nepotism is real. And this person who look, this is not a white person that got attacked. I'll just say it. This is everything. This person is everything that Disney is wanting to include more. Okay. And this person, this Rebecca, just unleashes on this wonderful human and is like, well, who are you? Nah, like, do you even know what you're talking about? And they respond, yes, I do. And she had a flash of recognition. And then it was almost like, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. And she just kept it up. And the thing that really drives the problem home is that the victim in all of this did ask for, wasn't necessarily trying to get her in trouble. They weren't trying to tattle on Rebecca. It was more of a, hey, the Star Wars family is usually such a happy place. It's usually such a family and connected. How do I rectify this and make it right? And this person was told to shut up. Was told to shut up. Basically, all the work you have done all this time, all the abuse you've taken from us in the past, and you've just smiled through it, doesn't matter. They have not done press for this person at all. And they have been in every Star Wars project since Disney bought Star Wars. And the last several projects he's been in, he was not given any press. They were not. They had the big Acolyte thing at Star Wars Celebration, right? Okay. They didn't even bring him up on stage. They didn't make him a part of it at all. Nothing. They didn't even invite this person.
I think that's called retribution in the labor world.
Yeah. It was absolutely heartbreaking for someone who has probably had a more tender love and attachment to Star Wars than we even have. And it just
more than you?
It just, now it's at the point where this person is like, I think I'm done. After all these years,
that's too bad.
think I'm done. Like the being denied press, being denied the ability to show off what you've done. Look at the things you've made, your hard work. And on top of that, who's the guy who's all, I'm the BB-8 guy, Chris Haney? Is that his name?
The driver?
Yeah.
The guy in the suit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The BB-8 dude, Chris Haney, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to look that one up. BB-8 Star Wars puppet. I don't know how to spell. I can write, but I'm not a speller. So just so everyone is clear on that.
By the way, I used to be a professional marionette operator.
Brian Herring, that's his name. Were you marionettes?
Mm-hmm.
What
pull my string.
So this is him. So this dude, he's a jerk. He's not kind. He's pretty well known to, and this is coming from this same individual. He's pretty much well known for showing up to any Star Wars project and like, hey, let me do that. And then taking someone's job just so he can get a credit and say like, I've been in everything Star Wars ever. But he's not kind and he's very verbally abusive. So the person that this has all happened to tells me they had a specific role, something that had to be puppeteered. And the original puppeteer for his, face, his facial expressions, very lovely man. Actually, he played Ghost of Christmas Future in Muppets Christmas Carol. That was him. Lovely man. And I've been told that he is pretty much that Ghost of Christmas Future dude. He's just overly jolly and just happy and pleasant. So this Brian Herring comes in and he's like, "Hey, I want to do something. Let me do that." And the other guy's like, "Too nice," verging on the edge of, doormat. And he's like, "Okay, sure, go ahead." And he ends up being the puppeteer for this individual
Hmm.
and abused him even more. And of course, at Star Wars Celebration, they bring Brian Herring on stage and not this other person. And there's a lot going on. Disney Lucasfilm is buying up all these studios in the UK and forbidding other studios and streaming to record there. So they're like making this monopoly in the UK over studios. And like I said, this person told me that every time he's walked on set for Star Wars or a Lucasfilm project, it's been this warm, happy, excited kid in a candy store. Everyone's a big family feeling. And when he goes on the set for Acolyte, it was like the exact words were a disturbance in the force. Like the dark side had truly won. Nobody was smiling. Nobody was talking. It was a very, very cold and tense vibe. The joy is completely gone, is what he said. He said the vibe is gone. The joy is gone. Um, Nobody who's working on this project is a Star Wars fan. Like normally, the people they have working on these Star Wars projects, they're Star Wars fans. They know what they're talking about. They're happy to be there. Not one person, not one. This is concerning. This is very concerning. If no one is happy to work on these projects, no one is a fan of these projects, how do they expect us to be fans of them? I mean, they've cut the budgets. They're cutting corners every way they possibly can. They are casting people that abuse others and refuse to take direction. This is concerning. This is very concerning. I'm getting a very strong feeling that things are unraveling at Lucasfilm.
I can't wait to read the tell all book.
I gotta pull my hair up because it's getting hot in here. This goss is hot. It's hot goss. Am I girly enough now? Did I get to stamp my girl card with that one?
There you go.
I don't know. What do you think of all this, Ro? What are you just keep allowing me to ramble and
It's your
talk my
show,
head
baby.
off.
It's your show. Well,
What do you
I
think?
do
What's your
find
opinion?
I do find it concerning if this is the behavior of so-called professionals. I think they say that Disney is the happiest place on the planet, but I think Star Wars has always been that for a lot of people. And it should kind of resemble or reflect the supposed creative environment when you're working on such projects. I don't think there's room for that kind of behavior in that sort of environment. So yeah, it's rough to hear that these people are being bullied, um away from not liking the franchise even on a professional
Mhm.
level. It's too bad.
How is it that you can spend all this money, all of this money, and buy out? Dave's yelling at Tiny. Sorry about that. He's chasing a kitty cat. It's Tiny Tuesday. He can do what he wants. Not really, though. He's my precious little boy. They're buying all these IPs, okay? And they're buying them because they know we love them. But as soon as they get them, what are they doing? They're not doing really anything with them. They have taken all this money away from Star Wars. I mean, they're making bank. They still are. despite how, the fans feel about them, it's really irrelevant. They're still making money, but they're cutting the budgets for every single one of them. And you have people like this woman who are like, I'll do what I want and they can fix it in post. Girl, I know about 30 VFX artists that you should not say that to. I mean, they've got enough work on their plates and they are not paid enough. And you're going to treat them like they're there to take out your trash? I don't think so. That is not how you win friends and influence people. I don't think that's how that book went. I've never read it. I don't have a lot of friends and I'm not good at influencing people. Look at my watch hours.
It's true. I'm not even watching now.
I know. What's up, Sil? Everyone, this is my friend Seal. I'm on his shows on Thursdays, and we this right now we're talking about a show that you can tell people love it while they're working on it, and that is X-Men 97. X-Men 97 shows that if you hire people that love what they do, it is apparent. Three Body Problem. That's another show. You can tell the people working on the show are enjoying what they're doing. They're liking what they're doing. Acting, creating any kind of content, acting, it's a very personal and emotional craft. It's very, very, very emotional. So if you're not into it, you can tell. Everyone can tell. It's like if you're on meth, people can tell. I don't care how many pictures you take and how many filters you use. Girl, we know.
Yeah, we see your butt crack. We know you're on meth.
Oh,
you know.
Oh my God. And
sorry about that.
If I had known, I would have had that ready to go.
Have your finger over that button, girl. I'm here.
Well, I'm trying to read comments at the same time. I'm trying to be a good host. Okay.
Hey, Backyard TARDIS, what's happening?
I know. I said General Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
General Kenobi, Andrew Haley. So yeah, I feel like things are falling apart. Things are falling apart. How do we save it? What do we do? Like that's another thing. It has shorter episodes. It's not a full hour. I think they're like what, a half an hour?
Yeah, they've announced that they were going to do half hours. I don't understand the whole half hour thing on these shows, but
what the French toast?
And I think we will never know what the true numbers on these streaming shows are because it's all proprietary information yet. But they do kind of sometimes say that it takes a while for the show to find its audience. But I think when it's half an hour shows, people won't watch, half an hour shows on a weekly basis. I've seen a couple of posts where people are just going to wait until the entire show goes on and then just watch all of it. Cause I mean, it's kind of goofy.
That's Saturday morning nonsense. That's Saturday morning cartoon nonsense. And we're grown-ups now. And we would much rather watch X-Men 97, which is a Saturday morning cartoon that comes on once a week, than, I mean, think about it. Series, they're taking longer in between seasons. The seasons are shorter than they used to be. And now what we get per week is even shorter. It feels like we're being trolled. Like, is that are you trolling us? Because that's not cool. We're paying you. We're paying for these streaming services. We're paying for the merchandise. We're paying for tickets to conventions and paying for autographs, which hopefully those do all go to the actors because those guys do not make the money that they should.
God, I remember paying $5-10 for a Michael Dorn autograph.
Do you still have it?
Somewhere. I know I've got Jadzia Dax.
I'll give you $50.
I got
do you have a picture of both of them from the wedding?
No, it's so Jadzia Dax. What's her name? She's a great Terry something.
Terry Farrell.
Yeah. So she signed a card of her character. It was a gold foiled card. and Gates McFadden.
Oh, of
So,
course.
sorry, Jessica.
Of course. She's perfect. And not many people know she worked on Labyrinth. She was,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. I saw like a
choreographer.
picture that was
Hmm.
very, very surprising.
And it's funny that you mention Star Trek, but I mean, it's not. You're like my other
Star Trek is the other white
Star
meat,
Trek
as we
nerd
like to
friend,
say.
but it is there. It's apples and oranges, folks. Not one is necessarily better than the other. Okay, they're two different things. Um, non-denominational here. I told this person that, you know, suffered on this set. That would be my son coughing. I apologize. I told this person, look into Star Trek. I've not heard one person complain about on set with Star Trek. Not one person. And we keep our actors forever. Even Manu Intrayami still has a fan base, even though he's a giant poop face.
I
But he
heard.
still has a fan base. But Star Trek keeps literally everyone, and they love you forever. And he said he keep saying that, was talking to Doug Jones. He's such a sweetie. He was talking to Doug Jones for quite a while. It's Missouri and it's spring, so everyone has allergies. But it would be great if they covered their mouth. Muzzle it. So I did suggest, reaching out, and I told him, I said, and as a matter of fact, I have developed a bit of a rapport with Terry Metalis on accident. I made a total ass out of myself, and then we both had a great laugh, and so now he's taking my calls, I guess. Oh man, everyone, I just want to say this, Mr. Terry Metalis, again, I'm very sorry about that weird ass Instagram message. I am a spaz, as you can tell, but I apologize again, and I thank you so much for having the world's best sense of humor. You're the champ. But yeah, I hate to see this. I hate to see this so much. Star Wars has such a rich, rich, rich culture. And I mean, if any of you have really gotten into what is now the extended universe, the legacy stuff, as Disney tells us it is now, it's unbelievably rich in depth. The Mandalorian history, they could just do an entire show on the history of the Mandalorians, like the actual history of the Mandalorians, and it would
Sure.
go forever because
Yeah.
there's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much. There is endless potential for the Star Wars IP, and it's being used. It's being manipulated, and it's not being cared for like the treasure it is. And it really, really hurts to see it's not only the fan base that's, catching the rough end of all this, but the actors that have been with Lucasfilm from the beginning being mistreated and tossed out. Like this person told me, you can buy the IP, you can buy the company, you can buy all the movies, you can buy everything, but what you have to acknowledge is that you're buying a fan base as well. And they completely lied to everyone what their intentions were. They lied. I don't even know what to say now. I'm just sad. I'm just sad. And I'm almost regretting bringing this up first because it feels like I can't even talk about the other
It's
stuff now.
it's a downer. It's definitely a downer.
It is, but I want to hear what you guys in the chat think about all of this. I just want to make it clear because there seemed to be some confusion on Twix today. I did not get my information from Reddit or a forum on Reddit. And this is not, the things I've said were not my opinion at all. This is information I was given. And it just makes me so sad. Like, it's not just us folks. It's not just the fans that feel like they've been let down in some of these things, and or Bad Batch excluded, of course, most of Ahsoka, but a lot of the like Book of Boba Fett. Come on, come on. And as much as we hope and we want this to be good. I want the Acolyte to be good. I want to love the Acolyte so bad. That trailer was dope. Meg did bring up a really good point in her last video that the guy tells all the younglings to close their eyes, and there's this one alien in the front row that doesn't have eyelids. Like, he can't close his eyes. And of course, we have the Wookiee Jedi who somehow inexplicably has a skin fade. I don't know if you noticed that. The Wookiee.
What's a skin fade?
For real, Ro?
Teach me. Is that a Missouri thing?
No, that is a haircut thing, you big dork.
Oh, all right.
A skin fade is where it goes from skin up to hair.
Oh, haircut. like when we saw Ahsoka's unsightly under
no, that's
her.
not a skin fade. That's just her hair, her bald head. So this is
bad makeup.
First of all, he's a Wookiee wearing clothes. So all the other Wookiees we have seen have worn clothes except Chewie. So I feel like Chewie might now be a bit of an exhibitionist.
Yes.
Like, we have concerns, Chewbacca. What happened to you? Why do you feel this way?
Put on some pants.
Put some pants on. But if you can see, can you guys see my mouse?
Yeah.
Is that okay? So see here, this is buzzed off. That's a skin fade. It's been buzzed off. So they gave him this weird haircut. Like, hey, 20 years of hair. I've seen some stuff. Okay. I was forced to do some really weird haircuts. Okay. Mostly from people who cannot describe things. So it was their fault. I maintain. But he's got that weird skin fade and he's got Jedi robes on, like, cool. But now this just means that Chewie's like totally 100% naked, like, all the time.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, Tabitha, yes, I've seen some stuff, especially in Southeast Missouri, in the meth capital of the world. I keep saying that because it's true and it's funny.
There is. I laugh.
But so
said someone from Chicago. I seen
murder capital of the world.
Hey, you got to be good at something, man. Come on.
It sure ain't pizza.
Oh,
baseball. You don't care.
I don't
anyway. Care. No, it's not a bunch of hair gel. I was trying to find the specific frame that Meg showed in her video. Oh, look at that. We don't wear pants. Look at our Wienerhausen. That's what we call Tiny's area, his Wienerhausen.
Oh my God.
So Wookiees don't wear clothes, and that one Wookiee had a really weird haircut. So there is that. But that makes me sad that Star Wars is being treated like a redheaded stepchild. No offense to redheaded stepchildren, but
let me ask you this, because I see a couple of people say this in the chat. Does all this behind the scenes drama affect your enthusiasm to at least see the show, or see what it's all about? Can you are people overreacting, and have they lost their ability to kind of separate the entertainment from the personality behind the scenes?
That's an excellent question, because in this day and age with social media and the internet, and I mean, you can't get away from it.
Right. And that being said, I mean, when movies are made, there's a lot of drama behind the scenes. There's a lot of reshoots. The first time we hear about reshoots, people are like, oh my God, there's a problem with this movie. They're doing reshoots. I'm like, that's just part of the business, dude. But
yeah, the only time
the internet really has made it worse.
Yeah. We didn't have discussions like this when the prequels were coming out. Even the internet was still rather new. I mean, there were forums, and my eyelash is coming off.
What are they called? Billboards.
Yeah,
and
they had
forums.
billboards and forums. Wow, does that look as crazy as I think it does? Because
I think
my
it does.
great, cool. Okay, everyone, my eyelash might fly off. Just, I'm sorry, I was taking care of my mom. Getting yelled at about it too. You're welcome, mom. Um, so we didn't have these kind of discussions. We didn't have this kind of knowledge. It's like we all were in the Garden of Eden, and then some dumbass handed us a pomegranate, and now we know everything. We know how the chicken nuggets are made.
Yes.
And that's a problem. That's something I used to say in my business when I owned my own business. I didn't want people talking about actual business on the floor because, and I quote, nobody needs to know how the chicken nuggets are made. They won't eat them then. I thought it was a fantastic metaphor. I thought it
Yeah,
was super clever.
absolutely.
Um, but that's the
And now I'm
problem.
hungry.
Yeah, well, there you go. Sorry. And you don't know how to cook, so you're actually going to go straight to McDonald's and get chicken nuggets.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I think that's a big problem that we we now know how these nuggets are made, and it's disgusting us. It's turning our stomachs because we don't want to be a party to abuse. We don't want to be a party to things that we love being mistreated.
But here's the thing about that statement. Isn't that a little bit compartmentalizing certain aspects of entertainment? I mean, every aspect of entertainment has a dark side to it. I mean, take a look at this new documentary on Nickelodeon
Oh
called The
God.
Road. That is
Quiet
like
on the set. Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
But Nickelodeon reigned supreme back in the 90s. So I don't think, we all, I guess we all have our priorities. We all have our thing to be outraged about, but I don't know. I'm the kind of guy that isn't I don't know, isn't influenced by what are we all getting pissed off about this week?
Right.
I'm
Right.
like, whatever. It
Right.
doesn't matter.
We're
Doesn't
not
matter.
professionally outraged.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, we'll react to stuff. I mean, I get
Mhm.
people ask me stuff about this and that, and I'll say my piece, but I'll move on. But again, having been a Star Wars fan since 1977, I think to
You're
me
old.
the most, yeah, of course, to me the most important thing in life should really just be enjoy what you enjoy.
Yes.
And okay, make a comment about some of the other stuff, but I would mostly say just move on, get over it, whatever.
Hi, Jerry. Welcome. Thank you so much
Ooh,
for checking.
first time listener.
I
Don't you have like a
really,
sound effect for that?
I do. Let me see what I have. Uh,
There.
Thank you. I really hope you subscribe and click the notification bell. I'm here all the time. I've got way too many videos for a normal middle-aged woman to have.
And is it
Get you-
Jerry or Gary? I know a friend that spells his name like that, and it's Gary. I keep telling him to change it, but he
How
won't.
how are they supposed to tell us how to pronounce it? We can't hear them.
They can phonetically put it in the chat. Of
Well,
course they
please,
can.
I don't want to mispronounce your name, and Ro's not going to be able to sleep at night. So please
Please
help
tell
us.
me.
Please
Please.
help us.
These are the things
Um,
that we think about.
I, you know how I am. I will always, always reserve my final judgment until I
Sure.
see it for myself. I'm not
Yeah.
going to let anyone else's opinion influence my own, uh, much to my detriment. It causes me problems. I'm way too stubborn, but that's okay. I like me. So I I will watch. I'll watch everything. I'll give everything a try. Very few times, Ro, you are correct. It's Gary.
Very nice.
That was an easy way of resolving that. I
Yep.
don't think things through. Thank you, Gary. Welcome to me. So I will always watch something before I form an opinion. Very few times have I not been able to get through a first episode or something.
Sure.
Uh, the most recent one, the one that pops into my mind is Gotham Knights. I couldn't make it 5 minutes. I was like, no, I'm out. No CW for me.
Yeah. I did
Um,
that with what is the zombie game show?
There was a
Uh,
zombie game
I'm
show?
sorry, not game show. The Pedro Pascal was in it. I mean, he's in
Oh,
everything.
the game
The show,
show,
right? What
Last
the hell
of
was it?
Us.
The Last of Us. Yeah, I tried
Okay.
that. I watched like maybe 2.5 episodes, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do
Well,
this.
see, you got through episodes though. Gotham Knights, I made it
Yeah,
5 minutes and I was out. Um, there has been, speaking of The Last of
that's
Us,
funny, Nick.
speaking of The Last of Us, oh yeah, no kidding. She is like
That's her
the
logo.
meanest
She's like
person
this.
ever. Yeah, she just
Oh, but no, she's like this, but she's looking that way. Yeah.
there's always something slightly to the right or left of me. I'm never looking at the camera. Um, way to go, Ro. And I am all distracted. Okay, so there's been a little bit of confusion. All these people are saying that Pedro Pascal is done filming Last of Us season 2, and now he's going to start filming the Fantastic Four. It's not true. He's not done yet. He's not done with the Fantastic Four yet. So, um, there's that. I do love him, and I hate that he gets so much hate because he's really a really sweet, funny guy.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I love it when I love an actor personally. Like I like you as a human. You're just the nice human.
It's nice. Yeah.
Um, it's nice when you like people.
It is actually.
um, but yeah, he's not quite done filming The Last of Us. If you are not familiar with the games, don't get too invested in his character for next season. I'm just saying, don't get too invested. I have
Spoilers.
yeah, I have grown children who have informed me,
That's funny.
and Jeffrey
Yeah.
Pierce told me. Um,
Yeah, I'm not a big game guy, and
I played The Sims. I've played
you did, yeah.
The Sims since 1999, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. Ro has fed my addiction because Dave refused to. I have a problem. I really love The Sims. And Margot Robbie is producing. They're developing a Sims live action movie with Margot producing. And I'm like, I think I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I heard.
I think I'd watch that. Speaking of great shows, we were talking about X-Men 97, right? And they're killing it. It's great so far. I mean, my man Cyclops is finally getting a good treatment.
Yeah, right.
But
Can you sing
Marvel
the
is
song for me? I've it took me like about a week and a half to get the song out of my head.
na, 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 na.
There you go.
I think I do have it actually.
Oh my
I have
Lord.
so much music. You know what? I think I actually took it off of here finally.
But you know, the first episode when I watched it that morning, it was
Uh-huh.
amazing. It just really brings you back.
It does. And I
Yeah.
heard people actually complaining about the animation. I'm like, for real? Like tell me you didn't watch the first
Yeah, it's just
without telling me you didn't watch the first series because this
exactly.
is actually way better with having the same feel. And
Yeah.
I didn't think I needed Jubilee dancing at a rave in my
Yeah.
life, but I totally did. Yeah, I'm so happy to see her. Like, when you're a rave kid, you play with your invisible crystal ball, and she's
Right.
doing that with her sparklies. So that made me happy. And you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Gambit is still hot. He's still a
Yeah.
smoke show. My first
Look, I'm secure in myself that I'm okay with saying that too.
he was my first cartoon crush.
That's
Him
funny.
and Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What can I say? I like a bad boy.
You know, I'm
Um,
noticing obviously we joke around with each other because
mhm,
we're of age. We're, up there. But
thanks.
it's funny to me to see like there's some people in the chat that are confessing that they did not watch X-Men 97 back in the day. And obviously there are people on the internet that said my first Star Wars was the Force Awakens. And I'm like, oh my God.
Meg tells me that her Star Wars are the prequels,
Yeah.
and I was like, I still love you.
But it's
No,
it's funny. I mean, at
Mhm,
some point we're gonna grow out of social media and just let the new kids come in. But it's
I
it's
know.
it's
M-
hilarious to me.
My oldest son was practically born at the theater for Phantom Menace. So when we watched that Triumph, the insult
Oh
comic
my
dog,
God, that's the
where he
best.
went
Look it up.
into the yeah, you got Triumph at the Phantom Menace premiere. It's hilarious. He's talking to this woman who's rather great with child, and I'm like, that was me. And then 2 seconds later, you have Ro. Which
Yeah,
button do you press to have your parents pick you up?
that is hilarious. I love that.
For me to poop on. Oh, I love him. Anyway, X-Men 97
Yeah.
is pretty dope. It's really good. It's really respecting the old series and the fan base. And now because of its amazing success, like they had 5 million views the first 4 days or something. So they are now considering giving that treatment to Spider-Man the animated series. My opinion, a series that needs this kind of treatment is Gargoyles. I loved
Oh yeah,
Gargoyles as a
I
kid.
remember.
It was one of those really amazing cartoons that didn't insult the kids that was watching it. It didn't talk down to the kids.
That's
X-Men,
funny because those are the best kind. I mean, Marvel Comics did the same thing. They didn't really talk down to it. It was
right.
like, you're just telling a good story. And,
Mhm.
if there's something a little iffy, I mean, it wouldn't cost us anything to do a little research to find out what it was. So
There was
I'm really glad.
substance. There was substance. There was entertainment. I mean, and there was a lesson. I
Yeah.
mean, you can do that and still have it good.
Yeah.
I
Look at Nick's comment about his first Star Wars.
cheers. I'm okay with that one.
Yeah.
And
That
you know
was
what? Speaking of Ewoks, it is Tiny Tuesday, and I was asking myself today, why have I not done a Caravan of Courage?
we should do one.
I
We
should.
should
But for those who missed it, here's your moment of zen. Here are your Tiny Tuesday movie posters. First, we have The Usual Tots. Let
take
me
the
take
comment back.
yeah,
Yeah, there you go. That is
Usual
hilarious.
Tots. These are all of Tiny's nicknames. In the credits here, we have Tiny Tot, his name, Titus DePriest, Tiny the Ewok baby, Wiener Bear. That's what Dave calls him. I don't know why, but he's a Wiener Bear. Tiny Tot do 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 do, because that's his theme song. Tiny Tot do 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 do, and Sweet Boy. So there's Usual Tots. 5 tots, 1 lineup. No coincidence. I should have said no cheese. He loves cheese.
Spencer just said that he's never seen Caravan of Courage. See what would I just saying about these young whippersnappers?
Dag nabbit. Next we have Free Tiny.
This is
This is a 90s
pretty
classic.
hilarious.
This is a
Yes.
90s classic.
How'd you get him to jump over that seawall?
Cheese.
Oh, yeah, there
There
you
was
go.
smoked Gouda on the other side. And I said, Tiny cheese.
And Nick,
Um,
just I actually liked Battle for Endor more because there was a lot more action for me. There was a
yeah.
lot more
Yeah. Battle for Endor is
elements.
better. I'm
Yeah.
going to put him on that one. 12-year-old street kid, a 2-pound Imperial Shih Tzu, a friendship you could never imagine, an adventure you'll never forget. And the soundtrack was great. And I had a crush on the kid in the movie when it came out. Not now. That would be creepy. And finally, my favorite, and this one is giving Cheese Pup a run for its money, I think. Reservoir Pups.
That's hilarious.
I am extremely proud of this one. First of all, the word pups took like 4 different layers because Dave insisted. And I changed all the faces on the bottom, and he's got a cigarette and a toothpick. I really love it. And I've had little green bags stuck in my head all day. The doon doon doon.
Good stuff. Good stuff. My,
Okay, so
my favorite, I think, is still the
Cheese Pup.
cocaine. Yeah, cocaine bear version.
Dave told me I should make one that says cocaine pup, but I was like, no. The blocks of
It's
cheese
a
really sell it.
family channel.
Yeah, family-ish channel. And the I feel like, it says inspired by true events because it pretty much is. He goes a little crazy for cheese. But that was your moment of zen for the day, the tiny stuff. So yeah, you guys have any other animated series from like the 90s or from your childhood in general that you feel like deserves the X-Men 97 treatment? I would love to hear about that. Let's talk about it. I'm still
Spider-Man and his amazing friends with
well,
Starfire, Iceman.
Starfire. Isn't Starfire DC?
No, or Firestar.
Firestar. Wait, that's also DC.
No, she was fire something. She was a young lady that controlled fire.
Okay.
Although in the comic book, that character was Japanese, so they kind of switched things up a little bit.
Oh, those dirty, dirty so-and-sos. Okay, so I say gargoyles, you say Spider-Man. And Spider-Man, you don't even get to say Spider-Man because they're already developing it. So
Okay,
whatever.
good, good. My phone call worked. My mail-in campaign worked.
Next, Joker 2 is
Oh,
yeah, it's going to be a jukebox musical, they're saying, with 15 cover songs and some originals. Why? I don't
yeah.
get this. And again, I'm going to save my judgment till I watch it, but I have concerns because not never in the history of nerdydom do I remember the Joker just being a musical kind of guy.
I know. And this is one of the things that bothers me about genre type projects. And this is
Mhm.
what bothers me about the Orville. Like people are saying, watch the
I
Orville,
do like the Orville though, so
watch
you
it
can
because
suck
it's
it.
so great. But in the one, I can't mix my science fiction with my comedy. So forget about that.
I know that's a weird thing
That's
you
it
do.
is. I know it is. But I can't do it. And second, in the grand scheme of things, the Orville doesn't matter because it doesn't really have anything to do with Star Trek. There's no canonicity to it. It's just like kind of like a one-off series of like this
Well, and
is it's its own
his son
thing.
can't keep his freaking stuff straight to say what's canon, what isn't anyway. So it makes it even more confusing. Like
Right.
last week, he was saying, well, some of Peacemaker season 1 is canon.
That's ridiculous.
What?
It's all
Yeah.
or nothing for canon. It should be all or nothing because you have, you've got fans that follow it religiously. And I think it's important. There you go.
Take the phone away from him, Jennifer, when he goes to the bathroom. He's not helping DC or Warner Brothers or anybody. Like, just take the phone. He's like Trump with the Twitter. It's a nightmare. He's arguing with people. He changes his mind every other day, but he gaslights and says, no, you just misunderstood me. I never said that. And now he's like, well, only some of Peacemaker's.
Crazy.
How are I don't understand, but he's saying that Joker stuff is in an Elseworlds universe. Matt Reeves' Batman is in an Elseworlds universe, but everything is canon. But these things. Oh, wait, this too. Stop. Just stop. You're melting my brain. I can't handle it. I have concerns about this film. I'm cautious about it. I'm not even
Yeah.
cautiously optimistic at this point. I feel like
No,
because
I'm definitely curious,
yeah, I'm
but
curious,
I
but
wasn't too
it's more
big
of
of
a
a fan of
morbid
the
curiosity at this
right,
point.
right. I wasn't too big on the first movie, but I mean, Lady Gaga singing, I mean, somebody said it in the chat. I think it's Shield Wall said that it might be groundbreaking, which I mean, from a musical standpoint, maybe it will be
Listen,
because
I like Lady Gaga. I like her makeup. I'm wearing her highlighter. It's very nice. Thank you, Brian.
I
Um,
thought that was you.
Thank you. Um, I like her music, but I feel like hiring her or casting her was a gimmick. And now, well, you have to have her sing because she's Lady Gaga.
Mhm.
So that was my Zach Galifianakis between two ferns. I would love to do a
Interesting.
show like Between Two Ferns and interview people and just be like, was Chris Evans nice? Does he smell good? And I would love to do that, but that would just me being me. Um,
Creepy.
yeah, I just don't know words. But yeah, it feels like a gimmick, and that since they have her cast in the role, they have to have her sing, and it just
Yeah, and well, I don't know. I was gonna say, when did they decide that it was going to be a musical before? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Ubaldo. WB is run by Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. Possibly. I have a theory. I have a theory for you Buffy fans out there. I have a theory that David Zaslav is really just trying to chop this up and sell it for parts so he can buy a private island and have unicorn blood mimosas with the other members of the big evil cabal. Um, he doesn't care. He's not a creative. He's a real estate guy. He bought all this stuff just so he could flip it.
Hmm.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
The only things that are really doing well for Warner Brothers right now is Dune, Barbie, and Wonka, actually. So they have Margot Robbie and Timothy Chalamet. That's what's going well for Warner Brothers right now. But I if Superman doesn't do well next year, there will be no more DC movies. So everyone needs to be emotionally prepared for that one. If Superman does not do well, there will be no
That's
more
gonna
DC
be
studios.
that's gonna be very, very interesting.
It will, and I do have some optimism for it because it is going up against Fantastic Four. Now, I have been told that, you know, Feige has done this kind of thing before and he may just move the date, like mess with them a little bit. But I wish that he wouldn't. And the reason why is because these studios need competition. They need to fight for our money. That's how a free market works. We have to have competition. Marvel hasn't really had any real competition this whole time. DC was never up to snuff to be any real competition for the MCU at the movie theater, but they have slid pretty far, and DC is now an official studio and has a studio head, so they are actually capable of competing with one another. And if we leave both Fantastic Four and Superman coming out within a week and a half of each other, that will force them to fight for us and improve. Fingers crossed. I mean, in the past, that's usually how that stuff works. So keeping them so close to releasing, close to one another's release dates, it could force them to compete with one another. So who
Yeah.
knows? But as far as Joker Folie à Deux, I'm cautious about it.
Yeah.
I'm very, very cautious. It's a morbid curiosity at this point. I'm also hearing Disney is officially rebooting. Like it's been tossed around and they finally came out and said that they are officially rebooting the Pirates of the Caribbean. Total 100% reboot. Why? Why?
Yeah.
They're doing a happy. Go ahead.
we have to be we have to remember that movie business is a business.
Mhm.
I think when something gets rebooted, when something gets redone, it's it's a safe bet. They don't want to risk any new ideas and try to find an audience for those new ideas. They'd rather just bank on something where people will say, "Oh, I saw the last one. I'm going to see this one too. Let's fork up over our money." I think unfortunately it's just I think if people stop going to reboots, then maybe people will stop or the studio will
Rebooting.
stop making them. But I think it's harder too for audiences to kind of spend their money on something new that isn't a tried concept or an old IP. How many Transformers movies do we have? How many um, Fast and the Furious movies do we
Oh
have?
Lord.
They just
Will it end?
it's a safe bet.
And
Unfortunately.
I want to respond to Spencer real quick. So Batman 2 has been indefinitely delayed. It's not happening. They have put it off for an undetermined amount of time, which means it's done. Gunn doesn't want to do it. And as I said, he's been extremely confusing about what's canon and what's not. So I think this one is biting the bullet.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it is, because it was a decent film. And I agree, I don't think Pirates will work without Depp, and I think they would be very naive to think that, I mean, it's the information age.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this doesn't have Johnny Depp in it, and it's going to be totally different.
Sure.
I mean, there are people out there who love pirate movies and they love Disney and they'll go. But hey, Crystal, what's up? You caught right as we were getting ready to finish.
But that's okay.
But
You can rewind. We TiVo'd it for you.
Oh, TiVo. There's a deep cut. Yeah, it's not a great time for that kind of stuff. But there's good news. There are great things to watch right now. Things that you haven't really even seen talked about on your social media. I know you've heard about Three Body Problem. I'm here to tell you it's as amazing as everyone is talking about. It is from the same guys who brought you Game of Thrones, so Dan and Dave, and the same composer, Ramin Djawadi. He did Game of Thrones and Westworld, and some of the actors from Game of Thrones there. I told them I'll give them to like a season 7, but after that I'm cutting out because they ruined my life after season 8 of Game of Thrones. But Three Body Problem is not only top tier sci-fi, it is top tier television. It is amazing. It's impressive. Dave doesn't watch anything, and he was riveted. Absolutely riveted. Three Body Problem is wonderful. Oh shoot.
And I think a lot of channels like yourself should probably really get into reviewing and discussing new shows.
Yeah, I like doing that. I do. I enjoy doing that. What was the other one? Why can't the Constellation. Constellation
That's
on
on Apple
TV.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah, that one is really good too. And it reminds me a lot of that show Dark on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, I love good German sci-fi. It's so good.
Yeah.
But Constellation, very similar to that. Shogun on FX
I was
is
going to mention Shogun.
amazing.
Yeah.
It is so freaking good. Like, why aren't more people talking about this? Why are the studios pushing these shows? Because they're absolutely incredible. They're not pushing them because they're putting them to shame, is what's happening. They're embarrassed. But if you're looking for something to watch, I highly recommend those shows. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was good. Frozen Empire is good. I'm telling you this. It is just a fun, it's not going to win an Oscar. I don't watch things, to say, oh, well, unless it's Oscar worthy. I don't care. We're nerds. Okay. Sometimes we like crap. But Frozen Empire is not crap. It's good. It's a Ghostbusters movie. It really is. And the new Roadhouse, it's not a great movie, but it's good. Like, it's a bad movie, but it's a good bad movie. And let me tell you something, ladies, if you are ovulating, do not get close to the screen. Jake Gyllenhaal will impregnate you, and he cannot afford that much child support. Okay. So just stay back.
That's hilarious.
Enjoy. It's fantastic. I loved it. You know what,
Spencer?
That's
actually a disclaimer that I used to have when Brad was on the show on Scariff Lives Saturdays.
Well, and look what happened.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Look what happened.
He impregnated somebody. Well, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I like Afterlife too, but I think I like Frozen Empire more. I do. But they were really good. But this has been a good time. But unfortunately, I have to pee. So that means
I already went.
Wrap it up. Well, I've had 4 kids, man. My bladder
is
but
I already
non-existent.
I already went like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, gross. You better throw out that bottle before your wife finds it. It's so
very
nasty,
nice. But
nasty.
yeah, thanks for having me on Nerdy News here at the Comics and Cosmetics channel.
Yeah.
You have a
And
good crowd.
I do. I have a wonderful crowd. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. You guys have been awesome. I really, really, really appreciate it. I really hope you smashed the like button and subscribed and hit the bell thing and shared it because I need all the help I can get. I'm drowning here. And you can find me on virtually every single social media platform there is. We're on
She's a hoe.
TikTok. Yeah, I'm there. I'm on Twix, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Threads. All you really have to do is type in comics and cosmetics and you'll find it. We're everywhere. We also have a website.
Oh, you got to fix that. My OCD is suffering here.
So I got to take out the W's, I guess, to help you. But we do have a website and everything is there. You can check out my portfolio, some of the looks I've done or graphic design I've done. I use that term loosely. There's also all the reviews I do for movies and some shows. There's also the Red 5 bio link where you can discover all the other super awesome nerdy content creators and podcasters we have in our network. We look good in red.
We sure
yes,
do.
we do. You can also buy these super awesome shirts that Ro and I are wearing. I also have mugs. I have like 40 different designs. You can buy all the posters from Tiny Tuesday. So if you like Cheese Pup or Reservoir Pups or Free Tiny, you can get your own Tiny Tot poster, or you can get a coffee mug that says "Make Marvel Great Again." I love that design. And even though I didn't use Marvel's font, they still keep copyright claiming it. And you know what? I keep putting it right back up. So
that's funny.
Your move, Disney. They tried to get me about something a while back from a trailer I got in a press kit. And then I got this. Oh, look at that. Dani 1, Disney 0. How often does that happen? Never.
You go, girl.
Thank you. You can also find me on Patreon. It's basically, look, I'm working really hard at being better at Patreon. I'm not very good at it, but I'm doing the best I can. It's basically a vehicle to help support the show, and I can use all the help I can get. You can do that. You can buy merch, or you can go to buymeacoffee.com/comics and MUA, or you can scan this little QR code on the bottom and you can tip me as little or as much as you like. There's even a specific section where you can tip Tiny with cheese. I will give him cheese. You can follow Mr. Rosiento over here. Rosiento at the Scarif Podcast on Twix and at Scarif Scuttlebutt Podcast on YouTube. Highly recommend. He is way better at this than I am. But until then, nerds, I hope you have an awesome and a nerdy, nerdy, nerdy day. And I really hope that you check under your beds tonight because
Disney and Kathleen Kennedy are gonna get you.